I've been a commentator on politics on TV for many years now, and an area where you and I would have received a lot of that aforementioned dung being flung our way was the Scottish independence referendum the first time around. I don't remember anything like it at that point, but of course then we had Brexit, then we had COVID. But going back to that Scottish referendum, you became a real lightning rod, didn't you? I mean, you said some I think really funny things. You called the prospect of a second referendum cancerous, and you once described Alex Salmond as a round wrecking ball of a man, which I'm afraid I would have to concur with. Why are you so opposed to Scottish independence? And why do you think that, in especially through the prism of history, your area of expertise, why did independence bring out the very, very worst in people north of the border?
I'm always cast as being opposed to Scottish independence. The truth, and I'm not trying to play word games with people when I say this, it's not that I'm against independence. I am for the United Kingdom. I was born, I was born in 1967. I was raised in the, in the 70s and through the 80s. And to this day, I just consider myself, as I always have done, to be a British person. And that was, contrary to what people might think, given what's been happening to me in more recent times, I've always been really an apolitical person. I've never been a card-carrying member of a political party. I've voted across the board in my time because I don't have any particular faith in any political ideology. I have voted over the years Green, Lib Dem, Conservative and Labour. And I've never been any more enthusiastic about one than any of the others. Mm-hmm. And so but I simply have always, in an apolitical, unargumentative way, just taken it for granted that I'm British. That's my nationality. And that's how I see myself. Of course, I was born in Scotland and I'm also Scottish, but I have a British identity. And for the last 20 years, the kind of work that I've had the privilege of doing, like Coast that you've already mentioned, and the various history documentaries, and a great deal of travel around Britain and crisscrossing Britain, for me, the national boundaries blurred and then disappeared long ago. And I feel a great sense of belonging everywhere I go in Britain. I've been warmly received north, south, east and west. I've had great receptions on stage, in theatres and while making television documentaries and while touring books in Wales, in Ireland, north and south. I'm well aware of the fact that the south is a separate, a separate entity, the Republic of Ireland, but in the north of Ireland as well, and in England and in Scotland, I've been treated with nothing but warmth. And for me, to draw a new hard line, separating Scotland from England in that formal sense, to break up the United Kingdom, is just a backward step for me. That's all it is. I prefer what I've always had. And I bridle at the thought that someone can take away my nationality and replace it with another. I mean, I push that to the point where I see that as infringing my human rights. I'm a British citizen. That's how I see myself. Not in any argumentative, pugnacious way. I'm not trying to make a point. That's just who I am. And I don't see that I should have to cede my right to understand myself as I am to some Johnny-come-lately politician.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that.
I'm not anti-independence.
Yeah,
that appeals to other people, which is fine. That's entirely appropriate if that's the way that they feel. I am for something, and I am for the United Kingdom.